Yeah, hi Rohan. Hi.
I actually there's one thing I'd like to address. I am currently looking at the screen through a monitor, which means that my camera is right here. So it looks like I'm looking up right now. Um, it's because the camera is below where the monitor is, so uh, it's gonna be an awkward angle.
Uh, you can look at your camera when you're giving the normal introduction and everything. While you're presenting, you can look at the screen. Okay.
I just thought I should address that.
Yeah. Okay, that works. Okay. So how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
How was the day?
My day was fine.
Okay. So you can give me a quick introduction about yourself, like where are you from and what are the activities that you like to do, your hobbies maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, my name is Rohan Nair. I'm a rising junior at Lexington High School, and some of my hobbies include things like programming, animation, and music.
So yeah, you can now let's move on to your project. You can let me know about like a brief introduction of like what's the project about. Then you can start presenting the project. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, the project includes a translator, which can be used by patients at hospitals when when the given language at a hospital is not their first language or is not their language in which they're proficient in. It also includes a patient tracker, which is useful for further operations. All right, I'm going to the slideshow now, I guess.
Okay. Go ahead.
Basically, at all hospitals across the world, one of the most important aspects of treatment is communication. Hospitals tend to make decisions very fast, especially in emergency care, and this communication can be broken by something major, such as a language barrier. The program that I've created tends to is working to alleviate these issues by acting as both a translator and a tracker, where most accommodations tend to not aren't able to work for everything. In most countries across the world, there are numerous languages that cannot all be accommodated for. The US alone has around 430 spoken languages, with numerous monolinguals who are unable to communicate very well at hospitals. This can lead to about 22,000 medical errors annually, and some of those can be fatal, which can result in a crisis for these patients. Hospitals do tend to have uh, accommodations for numerous languages, such as French or German in United States hospitals. Unfortunately, depending on the demand, budget, and the amount of languages, the effectiveness of this can have varying and often incomplete results. And with every passing minute, communication delays can have worse and worse consequences until they are eventually too severe to be rectified. And not only this, but there are also far too many languages, as I've said before, in order to accommodate properly in hospitals, unless a large budget, which is unfortunately not available, is allocated. The solution to this is an AI application that can receive things like vocal inputs as well as text inputs, and in certain scenarios, a pictograph system. However, the application not only takes these inputs and analyzes them using an AI, it also acts as a tracker, alerting the users for urgent response, or if the patient is needs to be discharged or marked as unfortunately deceased in some scenarios. All right. All right, I am now going to demonstrate the application itself. As you can see, this is the landing page for the application, which briefly details, all right, what the application can do. It is customizable. The default option is blue, but I'm just going to use this as a personal preference. And this is the main tab where, let's say that you put a patient who speaks something like Spanish. You would also put their age, and then and then you would either type it out depending on how well you can listen to them, or you would put them through the speech to text, as I will demonstrate now. Tengo dolor en mi pecho. And it is analyzing at the moment. And the AI analysis ranks it based off an ESI level from 1 through 5, with 1 being critical. You have to bring them to immediate urgent care. They are at severe risk of death. And it also gives a translation, a clinical rationale, and instructions to the patient that can be read aloud. It also gives the confidence and human review. And in scenarios such as this one, it will also state whether the patient requires immediate attention. And here there's a live queue where the first thing someone would do is move to bed. Although there are some other options there, as you can see. And once someone is in the bed, they can log the current condition, such as basically if they have certain things like medications or previous symptoms, then you can put them here. You can also mark them as a prioritized patient if they're in critical condition, a patient for an extended stay, or in the worst case scenario, you are able to mark them as deceased. If a mistake is made, you can also clear this. And if everything goes well, the user will click the discharge button once the patient has been discharged, and they are and they are gone. The audit log, the analytics dashboard basically shows the statistics and notable and notable and notable uh, aspects of each patient with an ESI distribution and average weight and discharged, although it tends to apply more to active beds in a live queue. There is also a medical chatbot, which can which basically summarizes the conditions of the patients who are in the live queue or in the active beds. Since we don't have any patients there at the moment, now is the perfect time to display the quick select symptoms. So let's say this person has a stomach pain and a breathing issue. We would click those and then we would analyze. And there it is. Basically, the patient reports a breathing issue and stomach pain, and it would give the instructions, and then we would go to the live queue, and since they require immediate attention, we would move them to the bed. And in the medical chatbot, we could ask questions about the patient, such as, or it can also access the logs that we give. For example, For example, if they've been here before for similar reasons, it's a good idea to put this here. And then if there are further questions or if you need a summary, uh, we would put them through the medical chatbot. And this sometimes happens when the API key is is overused at the moment, unfortunately, which is by far the only flaw with this. And in the archive section, there is the audit log where you can mark patients that have been triaged, moved to treatment, or discharged. And there is also the option to wipe all patient data. This is mainly used for bug fixing or testing. And because of this, it is it is more secure. One last thing, there is a customization section, but but in terms of function, it's mainly cosmetic. And this concludes the application. Thank you.